Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and welcome back to the Terror in the Isles Challenge. Now, this is a segment I've been doing with my good buddy, Joe the Horror Man, where we're going to examine films from Terror in the Isles. Not only the theatrical cut, but the television cut as well. Today we're going to be talking about Taxi Driver, which may or may not be in the movie. I think we're pretty sure that Deer Hunter was in the movie. Taxi Driver, I'm still on the fence about, but it says that there are scenes from there, so we're going to go with it. Okay, Taxi Driver is a 1976 film, which runs approximately 114 minutes, and is directed by my favorite director of all time, Martin Scorsese. Now, he was responsible for Hugo, Mean Streets, and The Departed. Now, this stars Robert De Niro as Travis Bickle. He was in Mean Streets, The Family, and Stanley and Iris. Jodie Foster as Iris. She was in The Little Girl Who Lived Down the Lane, Panic Room, and Silence of the Lambs. And Sybil Shepherd as Betsy. She was in The Last Picture Show, Guilty Party, and Being Rose. Now, this had a budget of $1.3 million and had a worldwide gross of $28.6 million. And Robert De Niro stayed in character throughout production. Alright, Taxi Driver. This movie is incredible. There's so many ways to dissect this and break it down, but I'm going to tell you what the synopsis is while I get out this little digipack, which I think is pretty cool. I actually found this at a yard sale a few years ago in pristine condition. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Okay, Taxi Driver is about a man named Travis Bickle who cannot sleep. So he goes out to drive a taxi and work long hours because I guess his mind is his worst enemy. He has trouble dealing with people, he has trouble interacting with people, and he has a little bit of mental illness. So Travis spends long nights out, goes to watch porn in the morning because he still can't sleep in the movie theaters, and has fixated himself upon a beautiful blonde named Sybil Shepherd. Her name in the film is actually Betsy. Now, Betsy works for a upcoming president named Palpatine, which Joe and I were joking around about him being Palpatine from Star Wars, but that's neither here nor there. She works for him, and he sees that as his in to be able to talk to her and interact with her. Well, he takes her out and takes her to a porno movie because he doesn't really know, like I said, how to interact, how to date, or anything like that. And of course she does what anyone would do in that situation, and she gets weirded out and leaves and doesn't give him another chance. That's pretty much what sends him over the edge. Now, this ends up becoming pretty much a vigilante movie and a political assassination sort of movie. And I'm going to leave the plot at that. I did want to mention Jodie Foster. She was 12 and a half, apparently, and she was a hooker. And he befriends this hooker, and it's kind of part of his whole meltdown. I've had very specific thoughts about this movie for a very long time. It's not my favorite Martin Scorsese movie. I know it is a lot of people's favorite, but it's not mine. I do love it, though. I think it's a really great character study of a potential vigilante with emotional problems. But there's certain things in the movie that always struck me as being interesting, like the last scene in the movie where he takes a double take and looks at his own eyes in the mirror. Now, Joe and I had a long discussion about that. I'll let you infer what you think is what happens with that scene. But there is a scene earlier in the film where he's talking to Jodie Foster, and she jokingly says, "Have you ever taken the time to look at your own eyeballs in the mirror?" So I think at that point, that is Travis's redemption and maybe reality sort of poking in. Because, and I do agree with this, Joe and I were talking about this, this is seen through Travis's eyes. The whole thing is seen through his reality. So it's skewed and it's uncomfortable. And I love it. It's a very interesting movie. And yeah, definitely got shortchanged for the Oscars that year. I'm trying to think of what Joe told me won the Oscars that year, but I do believe this was a better film. So, yeah. All right, I'm going to get to my relatable recommendation, which is going to be Cape Fear. Now, this has both main things in common, which is the director, Martin Scorsese, and Robert De Niro. And this movie, I actually like it better than Taxi Driver. I know that's probably blasphemy, but I do like it better. I think the reason why a lot of people discount it is because it's a remake. Although I do believe I've seen the remake. I'm pretty sure, and I remember this one a lot more. So that kind of lends itself to the fact that I like it better. This movie is genuinely frightening, in my opinion. I think that Robert De Niro plays a really good villain and a very convincing villain. So check out Cape Fear. It's fantastic. Check out Taxi Driver if you've never seen it. It's a classic and it's amazing. And don't forget to check out Joe's review and see what he picked. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.